5 things I love about living in Orlando, Florida, and they're probably not what you're used to everyone telling you. So in this video, I'm gonna cover 5 things that are probably just outside the normal box of reasons why people love Orlando, but have just really sat well with me since moving here and enjoying my time with my family. Let's get to it. What's up everyone, my name is Cameron Hodge. On this channel, I'll talk about moving to and living in Orlando, Florida. I absolutely love it. I drop videos for you every single week to help you with your decision when making the move to Orlando, Florida. And I absolutely love it. So hit the subscribe button and the little bell to be notified every time I drop a new video so you can get better insight when making the move out here. But what I love all doing this, I love giving you insight to honestly things that I messed up when I moved here, is being a licensed real estate agent in the state of Florida. It's helping you with the real estate decisions when moving to Orlando, Florida. So this number popping up below is how you can get a hold of me. You can call me, you can text me, literally any way you possibly can. I'm here to help you when making the move to Orlando to make sure that you make the best educated decision when moving out here so that way you love it and you don't hate it when you get out here. So getting into the video, obviously I just want to give 5 things that I just love about Orlando. They might not be the usual things you're used to, but some might be aligned with you when it comes to living to Orlando, and it might be the reason that you're looking to make the move out here that just pushes you over the edge. And I just want to give this to you so that way you can make a good decision about, hey, you know what? I love those things too. Let's get to it. Let's make the move out here. All right, the first thing I love about Orlando is, well, it's in Florida. And you might not like it, some might love it, but the fact that I really do feel the state is moving in a massive positive direction, I think, compared to, especially where we came from in California and a lot of other places. Orlando, obviously being in Florida, it just has a lot that needs to be fixed in terms of more freedom, because hey, I think I all want more freedom, lower taxes, more freedom in my life. No one can complain against that. But I do feel that compared to a lot of other states in this country, there's a lot of great things Florida has going for it, especially when it comes to the laws. You know, I really believe in a basic American values and homes, and I really do feel that I have more freedom than a lot of other places here in Florida. And you kind of have a little bit more options to kind of just live your life and enjoy your life. And that's something I really love about being in Orlando, because it is inside Florida and it aligns with a lot of the values I have. I get a lot of hate in this channel, people that are like, they don't agree with it, they don't align with it, then don't live here. And I think one of the great things about the United States is the fact that you can choose where you live. And the reason we have different states is we're a United States. We're not just one country. And obviously we have some basic set of rules we follow as a whole. The fact that each state is different, I think is a blessing. And I think for those of us that are coming here to Florida, it's because we believe that we can have a better life here since moving here. And that's something I've really honestly been able to have. Not only have I been able to save a lot of money compared to how my life is in a lot of other states, I get to do more things with my family, things that I enjoy, like hunting, fishing, owning guns, and just being able to enjoy my hobby and bring my kids up in school options, whether it's like, you know, half and half virtual school or it's regular public school that's actually improving compared to, you know, recent decades in Florida. And all these things are just moving in a positive direction. Now, no one knows where it's going to go in the future, but I can tell you right now, it is something I love about being in Orlando, is that fact itself. And the second thing I love about living in Orlando is that there's so much to do. And sure, every city has things to do. Every city has great, like, that's not what I'm talking about. It has all the basic city things, zoos, all you know, SeaWorld, things like that. But it's the fact that, like, there's so many extra things for my kids to do. Dino World. My son is obsessed with Dino World in Plant City. Like, just all the time. Like, we probably even pay for an annual pass again because he just loves going there. He's obsessed with dinosaurs. And it's just those weird, like, off the beaten path things to do in Orlando that I just absolutely love. And there's so much of it. So like I don't have to keep going to theme parks all the time. I can literally just take my kids to like all these roadside attractions that might not be the cheapest things, but they're a lot better than that, or going on hiking or camping or traveling, you know, Miami, or I can go on a cruise down there. Like, you're so centrally located in Orlando, and there's so much to do not only around the city, but Tampa and the beach, or, you know, I had to, you know, Daytona, maybe you love NASCAR, like that. You're just centrally located for one. But the fact that there's so many extra things to do around Orlando that I just absolutely love. And it's just like, man, I can't think of the name right now, but there's a science museum in Orlando that has all these weird things that, like, my kids just love it. And there's so many of these extra things that I never get bored. And like having young kids that are like, my oldest is 5.5. It's just, there's so much to do here and I absolutely love it. But there's also the downtown scene. And like, even if you're like, you know what, I'm getting bored of Orlando right now, you're centrally located. You know, you can drive the 6 hours down to Miami. You can go to Tampa, Daytona. Like, heck, you could even get a flight anywhere out of Orlando. So there's so much opportunity here in the city for things to do. And it's something that has really like amazed me, because I knew there were things to do here, but the more we look and the deeper and the longer we live here, the more the things just like come up, and like extra things and extra things and extra things. And I just love it. And there's so much to do. And I tell people, I'm like, look, I'm telling you, you got to get out and explore, because like, yeah, you have the staple tourism things, but I promise you there's so much to do. And especially during the summer when it's hot as heck, you can still go to these places and have practically the whole place to yourself in some of these locations, because they're so small and just off the beaten path. So hey, even if you love fishing and hunting, we have that too. So there's so much to do for everyone. And I'm telling you, like, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with it, but if you're like me, you're going to find a lot to do and you're going to love it. So definitely encourage you to just expand, look around, and just really just find like the full value, because you're going to be amazed at how much things keep coming up. And it's just awesome in a nutshell. All right, the third thing I love about Orlando is the cheaper travel. So I'm not saying it's like $5 to travel places. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I mean is like, so I grew up in, near Buffalo, New York, and flying out of Buffalo is so expensive. Even San Diego, when I lived there, was like twice the price sometimes compared to LA. Now, if you're coming from those places, I'm sure you're gonna be like, hey, Cameron, that doesn't mean nothing for me, because I'm coming from these major airports. But from where I'm coming from, like, flights to and from Orlando are just insanely cheap compared to a lot of these places. They're still expensive. Everything's expensive nowadays. But you have a lot. I can find flights everywhere. Heck, even part of my wife's family still travels to Bolivia, and it's like half the price compared to when they were in California trying to fly there, because everything would come to Florida and then there. Now they can just go straight from Orlando. And so it's a lot of those opportunities that are here in Orlando. So you can find those packages, those vacation packages, those flights, and you can take small flights to Miami and all these other places. It's just so centrally located thanks to the tourism industry in Orlando that you can go a lot of places. Doesn't mean it's gonna be necessarily cheaper, but hey, from where I'm coming from, it's insanely cheap. And not even just cheap, but there's also options, things that I've never had in any of the places I've lived. Even like places like San Diego, they're so supposed to be a main hub. Not really. And in Orlando, it's like, even compared to Tampa, I think when it comes to flight options and potentially pricing, depending where you're going, we definitely have them beat, because every airline wants to have things coming to Orlando. Heck, even if you're flying to Europe, I've heard flights are starting to make connections to Europe. So it's really cool. A lot of options. And hey, do your own research and look up to see if where you want to go from Orlando is cheaper or not. And that's the best advice I can give you. But for me, it's definitely cheaper. I definitely have more options, and it's something that just blew me away. And when family want to come visit us, if I have enough time in advance, I can really get a good deal on some flights, even some major airlines in advance, that I just could not get anywhere else. And the fifth thing that I have just loved about in Orlando, I think like me and my wife, like for our whole family, is opportunity. So I lived a lot of places in my time. I have lived in country of New York. I've lived in San Diego. I spent some time in Pensacola, a little bit of time in North Carolina. I was in boot camp in South Carolina. I'm not gonna say I lived there though, because let's be honest, you're not seeing the surrounding area other than when I got out. But I did travel around Atlanta, Georgia during that leave time there and things like that. And being around Orlando, there's just so much opportunity. It reminds me of like San Diego. I've been told before, like Central Florida feels like San Diego before it got massive in the 90s. There's just a lot of expansion, a lot of companies coming here, and getting in early with the right plan and the right mindset can just really set you up for generations to come. And that's how I feel with my kids. Like, I want to own a lot more real estate here in Orlando, because I see the opportunity. I see what Florida is doing as a whole compared to the rest of the country. And I feel that my values are being honored here. And I feel like the opportunity for work and to start a business, and there's just so much opportunity here. And that's something, if you're coming from a lot of these built out places like LA, San Diego, New York, Atlanta, maybe Atlanta, not so much, but like definitely like a lot of those other places, like you're gonna find a lot of opportunity here, because there is still growth that can be had here. People are moving here, especially with all the craziness going on in the country. More and more people are moving here. And depending what you do for work, whether it's a job, a business, investing, I don't care what it is, there is massive opportunity to be had here. You just have to have the right plan and know where to look for it. And if you are looking to get a hold of the opportunity and take advantage of it while the time is now, this number popping below is how you can get a hold of me to help you with that decision. And from everything, I don't care if you're trying to find a job, but especially your real estate decisions. Like, I'm here to help you create that plan, whether it's now or 2 years in the future. Let's talk now, let's figure it out. Let's help you make the right plan when moving out here. And I absolutely love it. Like, I don't care when you get a hold of me, I'm here to help you. Like, I've had people just, hey, I don't know when I'm moving, but I just want to talk about a few things. I'll have a conversation with you. I really do love talking about it and planning. It's what I specialize in. It's what I do best. And I know if you're like me, you're trying to find somewhere that treats you best, which is why you're probably looking to make the decision out here. So I look forward to having that conversation with you. I hope you got value in this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.